Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Gettys Federal Savings and Loan and Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
You found The Local Show right here on 570 WSYR 1069 FM. And of course on YouTube, if you look up Zoey Advertising, you can actually lift the hood up and see what goes on behind the scenes and see our guests, of course, see what Steve looks like. And, you know, really, if you want to respond in the comments, you can tell me just how ugly on a scale of 1 to 10 I am. Because I've seen the videos and I can't even believe Steve wants to continue having the videos on there with me.
Well, Tom, you're a fine-looking middle-aged Italian fella.
No, I'm an ugly person, inside and out. So that's for sure.
It makes you special, Tom.
Yeah, I'm special, all right. But there was something I was going to tell you about opening the hoods. I saw on YouTube Jay Leno's garage.
Okay.
And I was really impressed by Jay Leno's garage. I got to tell you, those episodes on YouTube
I have not watched. I saw it, but I didn't watch it.
Pretty amazing.
Well, you're a car guy, so.
Yeah, and he's so, you know what makes it good is that Jay Leno is not Jay Leno. He's just a guy.
Right.
You know, he's not trying to be like funny or anything. He's just really enthusiastic about the particular car he's talking about.
That is better.
Yeah.
Right?
Very
he's not
natural.
trying to crack a joke on every.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, there's like very little, no humor. And it was just really amazing what he was talking about. So I thought that was interesting.
I'm going to give it a whirl. You know what? I'm going to look. I'll take a look.
Yeah, you'll like that. Jay Leno's garage right there. All right. It's our pleasure to talk with Lou Burke. He's the owner of Admiral Canvas Company. AdmiralCanvasCo.com is the website if you want to check it out. A lot of people, Lou, are probably wondering where you're from and what your background is. And
Italy,
all that.
probably, right?
No, I'm from Camillus.
Yeah. That's not even Little Italy.
Camillus in the Salve area.
Okay, well, there you go. That's better. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
grew
good.
up there.
Good. And Lou, well, Burke is not an Italian name. How are you Italian? Or aren't you? I thought you were one of my people.
I thought you were one of his people.
I don't know if I'm one of your people.
No.
So no Italian?
Maybe I got to get to that ancestry.
Yeah, right.
Is there Italian in your family?
Yes, my grandfather was Louis Savastino.
Well, see, there you go.
Okay, you're probably Tom's cousin.
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
It could be distant.
So how does someone start in the canvas business? How'd this happen?
When I was a kid, I was going to West Jenny, and a fella came into my where I was working. I was working at a direct subs in Fairmount.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy used to come in every night for a steak sandwich. And his name's Chris Penn, a good friend.
Okay.
And he asked me if I wanted to have a real job. And I didn't know what he was talking about. And then I started as an apprentice with him. And
so he had a canvas company.
his father had a canvas company,
Okay.
J&S Marine. And he wanted me to teach me to do the business. And he taught me a lot.
When I think canvas, I always think of the thing that goes over the boat. This is not the thing that goes over the boat.
There's a lot to it.
Explain what you do.
Our canvas, covers. Covers are a huge thing to protect the interior of the boat and protect the water from getting into the bilge and the bilge pump running. And everybody needs it.
Right.
But they don't, some people don't realize how much they need it.
Well,
that'll kill
even
the
in the
battery.
sun, I always needed, when I was
Right.
boating, you had to have that thing up when it was really, really hot.
Just to get out of the sun.
Yeah, to get out of the sun, sure.
And like I said, I started in 1988 with him. I was 17 going to West Jenny. And
You liked
few
it.
years later,
You obviously liked it.
I like doing it,
Well, you know how Lou and I met, Tom.
Well, because you bought a shipwreck.
No, it wasn't that bad. But you know what? It was time. I had it for years,
Seats.
and it was time. So I made some phone calls, and people in Lou's space that are craftsmen are few
Right.
and far between. Is
Sure,
that fair?
yeah,
correct.
Okay,
Correct.
so you have the conversation. He tells you how much. You swallow hard for a second. You know what? But really, this is going into the boat. It's worth it.
Right, because if you see the prices of the new boats,
correct.
Even though they have all the technology that we want, like the cars do,
right?
Okay, but some of the older boats, which I don't know where we're going with this.
Maybe
someday they'll become electric boats,
right? They might.
With everything being electric now.
Sure.
You can't have gas stoves. You want electric. I don't know where we're all going with all that. But some of the older boats, they're bigger. How I can explain it is like they shrunk down. Even though say it's a 39-foot boat,
right?
They shrink them down, so it's not
as big
as
it's not as roomy.
Ones.
Yeah,
right.
they don't make it as efficient.
Correct.
With the room.
I had a boat, and I'm very lucky to have the boat I have. And it was a guy when I was a kid, and he bought it at Hibiscus Harbor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I remember. I know where that is.
He's a local fella, and the name of the boat is Gypsy, and I was very lucky. I hear I'm 17 years old. This thing's got a shot dispenser on the back, and I was, even though I was able to take a shot, but if I poured the shot, I had to have it, you know. And we did a lot of work. There was a lot of dealers here.
So you were
upstate.
an apprentice.
I was an apprentice at the time.
Okay,
yeah.
so I go into the circle, Tom, and I'm calling around. I got this guy Lou, who apparently loves what he does.
Right.
Okay.
Apparently,
it was very obvious because he's like, well, I do this and I do this, and he's telling me about the kind of fabric and the kind of thread and all these things. I'm like, can you make it look good? So it's like you ask an engineer, what time it is. They tell you to make a watch. That's Lou.
Right.
But okay,
so your seats were ripped up and stuff.
You know what? They weren't like trash. They
worn?
were, the thread wears out, and Lou knows where. And so they're open up. You see, and it's time. And the boat's it's a 15-year-old boat, but it's time to do it. So what I also found out was that he does dentist chairs. So how are dentist chairs and boats the same? Bring those together.
And restaurants.
Right.
Yeah.
So I had a fella, a friend of mine, that was he was an upholsterer. See, when I was a kid, I would jump through, because Jimmy had an upholstery trailer and they had a canvas trailer. Okay. And I would jump back and forth, and he passed. And so and he was a good guy. That was M&M Custom Upholstery. Kind of got me into the dental chairs because he got cancer and he couldn't lift his right leg up anymore. And I went, after done doing canvas, I would go out to his shop and sew for him.
Sure.
And try to get him by, and then I ended up with Aspen Dental for an account, and it was a really good account. And that was in the beginning before they, went corporate Wall Street. Right. So it was, and I started doing dental chairs.
So you can do it all.
Then I started doing for the local dentists, and there was a company out there called Henry Schein, and they're the supplier, and they've been really good, and if they didn't want to buy a new chair, to kind of the cost effective is to reupholster the chair.
I would imagine that during the winter months, especially as we get toward February even, you get busier because people have campers too, and they want...
Right. I don't do anything in the camper business. There's only so much... Okay. No, I don't really touch campers.
Is that because you're just too busy?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's different from the boats.
It is. Okay.
I work on boats. Like interiors, like in the winter, I take a couple interiors and I do those. Yeah. But I also work on medical stuff for some.
Right. You got a new building, right?
Yeah, a new building at 400 Brown Ave, and it's great. I mean, it's nice.
Can people just drop by and
they can
maybe
drop by or give me a call?
Right,
It'd be nice because when I'm sewing, it's hard to stop to do what you're doing.
Is it just you, or do you have a bunch of people?
No, right now it's just me.
Really?
I'd like to train somebody because the future of this business is at stake.
Yeah. When you go over there, Tom, anytime Lou and I were talking about my boat, again, he's a craftsman. So he's like, well, there's 14 kinds of fabric, and he knows the kind. Well, this one changed. 1985, they stopped making this. They started doing this, and it is like this wealth of information. Right. So I was thrilled with the way the boat came out.
Yeah.
So if someone has some cushions that are going south, and they can get in the queue, and now you have that indoor facility,
right?
And you'll give them a fair quote, and then get the work done.
And I'm scheduling right now for the 2023 season here. So if they could call and to get in the schedule here for spring.
Is that the 885-5568?
Correct.
So write this down. If you got a boat and you want to talk to Lou, 885-5568, AdmiralCanvasCo.com.
Yes, and you can email me at admiralcanvasco@yahoo.com.
Okay.
Okay.
But
there
thank
you
you
go.
guys very much. It was enjoyable.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks
thank
for
you,
coming.
Lou. You have a great rest of the day, okay?
You too, sir.
Okay. Kicking off hour number 2 of the local show, we're going to have a conversation with Charlie Van Patten. He's the owner of Mattress Makers. Bob Holdenbett stops by, owner of Hobie Honey. And Bob Molta, owner of Slot Car Central. And then we'll wrap things up with Dr. Nicole Anzalone, owner of Syracuse Hearing Solutions. Stick around because hour number 2 of the local show starts really soon.